Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. I've got a microphone on, I've got the beach behind me, and we are looking at a great site that is um, Coogee Beach on a rather cool day actually. We'll check the temperature. I think it's around, temperature-wise, the weather says, my location, Sydney, we're only 18 degrees and mostly cloudy today. Hopefully it's not the case up at the GABBA. The GABBA probably will be, well, a bit on the rainy side, but England are 2 for 220 with Darwin Milan not at 80, looking fantastic, as well as Joe Root, who's now the leading run scorer in a calendar year for England, with some 1,500 plus runs. He's not out 86. Now that's a pretty impressive debut. He needs, I think, 250 or thereabouts to beat, I think it's Viv Richards, if I'm not wrong. And Mahal Jalawan is up there as well, with some 1,750 runs in the season, in the calendar year. Now, of course, we have got the Adelaide test as well as the second innings here. We've also got the Melbourne test, so he's got a few tests to do it in. Very good chance. Well, he's played a bucket load of tests at the same time. A little bit early, so we haven't got too many viewers on. That's all right. We can handle it. I'm not live from the SCG now. I'm live from Coogee Beach, so I better change that. Beach. Beach. Shame. Hi, Milan, I'm doing well. I think you're in Austria, aren't you? So I'll make sure we've got nothing wrong there. Wi-Fi's off. So yes, Milan, Jacob, I'm doing well, and you're obviously, what time is it back then? If you're in Austria, as you remember you were last time, it is. What time is it there? It's pretty early. It's probably about midnight there. Milan, tell me what time it is. Tell us what time it is. We'll be right. It's 11:30 p.m. here in Vienna. Oh, there you go. Wien, 11:30. Oh, it's 9:30 here, so we're about 10 hours difference. In England, we're 11 hours difference. So in England, it's now currently about 10:30. So we're waiting for the next day's play. That is the fourth day of the test between Australia and England. England, of course, are now situated relatively nicely. There's still 58 runs adrift from Australia, with the score being 2 for 220, with Darwin Milan not out 80 and Joe Root not out 86. We expected to start a play in about roughly an hour's time. So yeah, people are probably not expecting too much in the prelims. So I do want to talk about yesterday's match. I think that there was a great deal of happiness that we've got a team that's actually competing with Australia now, which it didn't look that way in the first innings, but it certainly is in this case. Azhar Islam, it's 3:58 a.m. in India. I'm sorry at the time. It's awful. I appreciate that. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. We're going to be on for a few hours anyway, so we'll be able to watch, hopefully, Darwin Milan get a century and Joe Root get a century as well. and Joe Root needing some 250 runs to, I think, outscore Viv Richards in a calendar year. I think his was 1,750 odd. And in the case of England cricket, he's actually now surpassed everyone. He has the best record in terms of cricket. When we talk about in a calendar year how many runs a player has scored, it's quite brilliant actually. Quite brilliant. A little bit of background noise, but we've got the beach behind me, as you can see. So, looking at day 4. I didn't think we'd even reach day 4. A lot of people didn't expect us to reach day 4. So we'll be able to follow that. So when it's Wien ist eine schöne Stadt. Very good, Tim Milton Davis, that's correct. Vienna is a beautiful city. Wien, that's correct. Yeah, it's got its long history. It certainly has. Of course, you have Salzburg, not that far away from Vienna. I love that as well. Vienna, of course, has a home of Mozart. Has Stephansdom there in the middle. I have a relative that lives in in the Nähe from Stephansdom, that is, not far from Stephansdom. Tim Milton Davies, what's the extent of your German? Or Austrian German, as they would say, or effectively German. Can you speak some more, Tim? Wie geht es Ihnen, or wie geht es dir? But I'm in not so sunny at Coogee. It's still 18 degrees Celsius. This is December 11th. It should be bloody hot. You visited Austria in 2002. Very well done. It's day 4. Hopefully we will get a result of this test match. I think we will. Complete Austria is in strict lockdown since November, unfortunately. That's no good. Since November. It's pretty heavy, isn't it? When you look at Australia, we've got we've got 95% double vax, so we obviously are in a situation where we can handle it a bit better. Omicron's floating around, but not many cases at this stage. I migrated to Austria in 2002. I was in Germany in 1991 until 1995, effectively. So yeah, that's how long I was in that part of the world. Yeah, so we are digressing. So Australia versus England, first test, 4th day, well into the 3rd innings. So we're pretty much on schedule. I would imagine that England are going to face the new ball in about 10 overs. So that'll be interesting. That's where Marnus Labuschagne, who seems to know all about the GABBA, he's talked about they expect a clump of wickets to fall around that time. Britain needs to take COVID more seriously. Big problems here. Okay, really. Omicron variant is most infectious. But it's not a killer strain, I don't believe. It's just a bit more infectious. But if you're double vaxxed, you won't die. That's the very important factor. I guess that's the most important factor, really, isn't it? I've got people here behind me, you can see, enjoying the beach. There are people swimming, although it's not exactly what you would call perfect conditions. You can see down there. Look around here and you can see more around there. You can see the beach. Not a bad angle, actually. You might even adopt that angle more, so you can see more of the beach, can't we? Yeah, right. I'm filming this way. So we are here at Coogee Beach on a day. Can you all hear me, guys? Just making sure that. So you think that you predict Stokes will get a double century tomorrow? Tomorrow, day 5. Well, then that means Australia won't be batting and there'll be a draw. Is that what you're suggesting? That probably wasn't a smart move for England to bat that long if they want to win the test. They certainly won't lose the test if that's the case, will they? If we need to have curing medicines instead of injections, that's true. Well, it's a long way coming. I think Omicron affecting children more in India. Okay, interesting. We've started to vaccinate children here in Australia from 5 to 11, that's for sure. All right, so can you all hear me loud and clear, guys? Just acknowledge Milan or Tim. just say yes, loud and clear, just to make sure, because I've just moved positions and I never know where these microphones what them. Please acknowledge, just put a message through, let me know. Guys, good. Yeah, clearly. Okay. I think good. All right. We've got the scores down below. Norman live from Coogee Beach with England all out for 147 and Australia all out for 425. So they gave them a lead of some 278 at the GABBA. And England now into day 4 will start with 2 for 220. They're effectively 58 runs adrift. If they knock those off without losing a wicket and get through the new ball and 10 overs leading up to the new ball, they will be in a situation where they can start to command a lead and will start to threaten. You would think Ben Stokes would be a lot freer when he bats, which could be very advantageous. And obviously, Butler can bat freely as well. And you've got people like Wokes and even Ollie Robinson can certainly play very, very successfully as well. So all very much a situation where those blokes can take a lot of responsibility on for the innings which is about to unfold. So the backdrop, you like the backdrop? It's not a cricket stadium, but it's just about as nice. Nice sound of the beach waves in the background, very relaxing. That's nice. I'm glad it is. I'll occasionally have people who will visit me and probably say hello. We're going to be on for a couple of hours now. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy the day. I don't know whether Australia will enjoy the day. I think Pat Cummins will be tested considerably with his captaincy today. I think he was a bit yesterday as well. Yeah, the nice sound of the beach in the background. Hopefully Josh is fine and can make an impact this morning. Morning United extra time. I don't actually know. We still haven't heard anything official about what is actually wrong with Josh Hazlewood, whether there is anything wrong. He effectively didn't bowl for 35 overs, which is quite a long period of time not to have bowled in an innings for sure. The other interesting little joking stat was about David Malan last played a test match when pre-COVID, and I think it's quite a funny little joke. So, all right. I'm glad Malan and Root are standing up to the Australian bullies. Well, yes. I don't know whether Australia can be called. I don't know whether Australia can be called bullies. I don't think that's a fair comment. I think, Tim, they're at home. It's home turf. A bit like when you guys play on your home turf with Broad and Anderson. They certainly, you would argue, bully us too. So it's going to be interesting to see what actually does happen. In terms of guests, it's just a horrible time for everyone to be on. I'm not expecting people to wake up this time of the day, so I haven't put any pressure on too many people. But I'm going to enjoy the day with you guys. It's going to be very intimate. Normal salt or chicken salt. Chicken salt every day. Absolute normal chicken salt. He's asking me or what? Are you asking Tim? No, you're asking me. The bowlers are underprepared for this series. Well, both sides are in the same boat, Tim, so you can't really call that at disadvantage to anyone, really. Yeah, I love my chicken salt. Qatar Buddhist. Good morning, all friends. Thank you for joining. We'll build this audience up. We had a pretty good audience last night. Well, close to 3,000 people were viewing yesterday, and I like that number. We've got our 20,200 subscribers, and I'm very happy with it. I'm going to keep that going up. Does boob size matter? I've got a video here. Does boob size matter? This woman here has got 806 Lisa Mangalas. I want to subscribe to her because she's popping up my posts all the time. Another GABBA thriller. It is going to be a GABBA thriller, isn't it? My word, it's going to be a GABBA thriller. Cricket conversations with Kapana. I've got a nice photo of Kapana. Did you see the photo of Kapana today? I posted it on the community page. I posted a nice one of Kapana. She looks fantastic, actually. I don't look too bad at a distance. I guess it is at a distance, mind you. Yeah, so we've still got another 51 minutes before play starts. Plenty of time to have a chat. So do ask questions. Okay. England better reserve bowlers. Hazelwood and Stark cannot play back-to-back tests. It's true. Jai Richardson's probably not quite up there. Indian team defeated both Australia and England in recent time. That's true. They did. Why we love Ashes cricket, it's the pinnacle. That's certainly a term that was used by Darwin Malone, that's for sure. Many people have had 3 COVID jabs in Britain, but Omicron is taking over. Well, let's not look at it any differently than just the flu. It's basically the flu. If you're jabbed, it's the flu. Effectively, it's the flu. So that means you haven't got too many things to worry about there at all. I should try and untangle this cord while I'm here. This ridiculously unravelled cord that drives me nuts. So look here. Be careful what I pull it. Just guys, make sure you intermittently tell me you can hear me, because we're in a situation this is pretty noisy around me. But if you can hear me clearly, well, then I'm happy. I've got Sean Mike Kelly is going live now with Real Vision Tech. There you go. So people are down here enjoying the beach. They'll be certainly waiting for the start of the match. And it's just intriguing to look at the England batting lineup. I mean, Hamid deserves to stay there. He scored 27 and 25, I think, respectively. 25 and 27, respectively. And, Burns did not bat well in the first. He got out first ball. Of course, second thing is he looked a bit scratchy, but he did survive. He was on 13. Many people out at the Coogee this morning. There certainly are. There's quite a few people. You'll see as we walk around, you'll see a lot of people actually are now watching as well. If you look around, this is quite a beautiful beach. There's people out, absolutely. Take a bit of a tour here. You can see that's a bit of an angle. There we are. There's a bit of an angle on the beach. You see the rock pool just down there. Yeah, so it's a great morning. It certainly is. Well, it's 18 degrees Celsius and it's actually freezing, but that's all right. I'll change the angle a bit later, guys. We'll get a bit of a different angle later if you want. There we go. So I'm not sure if you can see that better with. Is that better? Can you see my face clear? Okay. England need to keep faith with Leach through Jack's play in Adelaide. It's true. He did get taken for 8+ weeks once and over in the area. They need faith in him, as do probably Nathan Lyon with Australia. He's also, I think mentally, he's just hit a massive bloody brick wall with his so-called 400th Test wicket. He's got 399. I think he's worrying unnecessarily about it, and just he has taken 399 Test wickets. A lot of bowlers would kill for half that, or even just the one. So there's no issue with his situation at all, is there? Really? I mean, let's be honest. He's well deserving of his position in society. Under a bit of flack at the moment. Under a bit of flack, but I think unnecessarily flack. I think they're even having a go at Root, which is a bit of a joke when you think of the fact that he's got some 9,000+ Test runs, and he's only behind Alistair Cook now in the ranks of runs scored for his country. What is he now? 9,300 odd. A magnificent performance still. Nessa took 5 wickets for Australia. Yeah, not an extra time he did. But look, it's for Australia A. It's not for Australia. So I'm not going to get too excited about that. I think he's a pretty good bowler, but Jai Richardson will get a go before him. Commander John, England are going to throw them back into this. Anything for Australia to worry about? Certainly. Of course there is. They get rid of the 58 runs this morning. They get a lead. Then it becomes pressure. By lunchtime, we'll know how this game will pan out, because I think if England do not lose a wicket and they're still 2 down past into the middle section of the day, that means they'll pass Australia's score and we'll have 2 men on centuries. So we are looking at and those two, we know Joe Root can bat very, very long. Nathan Lyon is a great off spinner. It's an era of finger spinners. It certainly is. The leg spinner was really in the mode of course, someone like Shane Warne, certainly right up there. A brilliant person indeed. Yeah, but England have certainly got themselves into a very good situation now. But yeah, there's still 58 runs adrift. In all fairness, it's not a great position to be in. They want to be in front. So you're not at extra times praying. This is not Brisbane 2010 again. When they were 1 for 500. Remember, that was amazing. Jonathan Trott, Alistair Cook, and Andrew Strauss all scored big. And I was there that day. I'll never forget. It was painful, very, very painful indeed. It was extremely painful. It was one of the most painful they are, but look, it can happen. England deserves me so. England deserved the batting very, very well, so that's certainly the case indeed. So there you go. It's a huge, huge situation for England. It's great to see. I didn't want to see Australia win 5-0, and they certainly won't the way they're going. I don't think they will. Don't forget they're playing probably Tasmania in the 5th test, which will be, if it's under lights or the cooler conditions, it's going to suit England down on the ground. Melbourne and Sydney are more Sydney-centric. Melbourne and Sydney are more England-centric anyway. Adelaide's probably an even condition, although it's day night. They've lost out on Perth, which would have been in Australia's favour, and obviously GABBA should be a fortress for Australia, except when you play India. So let's see. The team's not playing leg spinners, they're playing 11. In the red ball format. Well, I mean, if you had a good one, they'd put him in. I still think Adam Zampa deserves a test run. Mitchell Swepson, he's there or thereabouts, but I'm not convinced with him. I'm not convinced with him at all, so I'm not going with him. The team is not playing there, so that's right. So we're in a bit of a situation of a team dynamic that's really not in favour at all of. There was a guy at the cricket the other day. Adrian Raftery likes a photo of this. Adrian Raftery only likes photos when he's in them. Doesn't like any other. Okay. Tim Wilson Davies best took a 4th against England Lions. Matt Parkinson is one for the future. So we're talking about batting, aren't we now, Tim, aren't we? Best took 4 for England Lions. Well, Tom Best is thereabouts as well. Thoughts on young Sanger, the league who debuted for New South Wales and Shield. Thoughts on him look promising. You're talking about Tanveer Sanger, the spinner, as opposed to Jason Sanger, also does bowl spin. They're both good players, and Jason Sanger captained the Australian under-19 team. So effectively, Australia under-19s was captained by Jason Sanger. He's played for New South Wales. He should be in the Australian team down the track. But Tanveer Sanger certainly is given a lot of promise. He could well be a spinner to join the Australian side sometimes. Jason Sanger's another one that also can play in that particular boat. So they're both in that category, certainly. Yeah, so there's Jason Sanger currently, who's, as I said, played for Australia as the under-19 captain, deservedly so. And in terms of Tanveer Sanger, looks like a pretty good spinner. He's certainly given a lot of opportunities. I think he plays for Randwick Peterson, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure what club. I think it is Randwick. So Root and Livingston can both bowl leg spin if needed in the future matches. Is Livingston a part of the squad if he is? I'd like to see him play Test. I know a great view of Coogee Beach. Looking like live, there will be some tough battles out there on the field today. Yes, there certainly will be, our instinct. Root will finally have a chance to make it in a century in Australia. Let's not jinx that, but yes, I did hope that he will. And of course, he's now the number one batter in a calendar year ever for England, and he's only got some 250 runs now, or thereabouts, to beat. I think it's Viv Richards with his 750 a calendar year now. Who thinks anyone could ever beat Viv Richards at scoring runs in a calendar year? Well, Root's played enough test matches to do that. But Viv Richards, I'm sorry, his 750 would have been the best year ever. I mean, he would have played fairly few tests as well. He certainly would have deserved what he got. It's brilliant. Viv Richards, still my favourite batsman, still my most, probably the best batsman I've ever seen. The most deadly. I see them both of them who roomed with Viv Richards, glorified him as well. And both of you would argue emulated Viv a bit in the way he attempted to bat. But Viv was the leading light. Don Bradman was clearly the best average in the world and will always be seen as the greatest batsman, but Viv Richards, my God. If I picked a team, he'd be my team every time. So yes, we've got still about 40 odd minutes before the game plays. We know what the score is as those that may be joining us now. England were all out for 147 with Pat Cummins getting a 5 on day one. It rained the rest of the day with bad light. But 147 was a pretty ordinary score from England. But look at them now. Day 4, they're 2 down for 220. Any update on the women's match as well in terms of them being played? Can you tell us about that match? Who's going to win today's match? We're going to talk about that certainly. I mean, the reality is that firstly, I remember seeing regarding women's matches. Well, it's coming up in January. That'll be interesting. England will be out here. Australians will be quite solid. It'll be interesting to see. Won't hold as much interest as this series, but it'll still be interesting. In terms of today's match, as I said, 147 is the score that England got in the first innings. In Australia, we're already 7 for 343 after day 2, some 196 in front. Then Travis City scored his 112 with that one session, took on the third day and continued to be 152 out. And the team were all out for 425 with a lead of 278. And at that point, you really thought we were going to be packing our bags and we finished last night. That didn't happen. Of course, we saw then an amazing situation where David Milan, after both Burns and Hamid struggled but got to 2 for 61, then came a 159-run partnership between David Milan and Joe Root. David Milan on 80 and Joe Root on 86, both not out, both looking for 100 today. Yeah, you ready for a Rudy ton? I am so, Greg Hussey, I certainly am. Yusuf has the record 2006 with 788. Viv Richards is second. Well, I knew Viv's 750, but I would say Viv Richards is a much better proposition than the way we're doing things indeed. So Viv Richards is 750. Like he's second. Yusuf Yohana. Is it Yusuf Yohana or Yusuf Khan? You know, extra time. Tell me, is it Yusuf Yohana or Yusuf Khan? I got the 780. I think it was Yusuf Yohana, which is Muhammad Yusuf. Brilliant batter, but Viv's second, 750 is still monumentally the best. Yeah, Root, can you tell us about who's going to win? Again, I think who's going to win. You would still think Australia would be the victors at the moment. Australia would certainly be in victory mode. If they get a few wickets, it'll be all over Red Rover. But that second new ball will be crucial. If in about 10 overs time, if the two batting now, Milan and Root are still in, and they survive the new ball, which is going to be a big ask, then they may be in with a chance to make a game of this. But Muhammad Yusuf, okay, can really wreak heavy havoc, yes, if they both crossed 150 today. Well, that's true. They would be. You would say it's still unlikely that England could win this match. England bat the day. They scored 250. That means they're in front by 192 to 200 runs. And that will mean that 17 to, I thought 1750. Oh, okay. So being ahead by a couple hundred runs with the last day to spare, we'll probably see, go closer to a draw. If Australia's got 200 to go on the last day, you'd think they would win. But any more than that, it'll either be a draw or it could be an upset. But I think Australia's still in the box. They can win this. We'll see how we go. First and second sessions are going to be so important today. In fact, the first session, getting through the new ball will be the one that will really set the tone. If they don't lose a wicket and they get through that, well then England are going to be a lot more happier with their position. Backstage with Bury is a show that's come on air as well. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be on. We'd love to see Bury join up. See where the Bury is floating around. Trying to get Bury on backstage. Bury. Brougham Agenda, well, he's a great guy. Any news on Hazelwood being injured? Well, there's not a word of it coming on here. Not a word at this point. Taking some photographs here, guys. Bear with me a second. So I'm just going to say to Boria, talking all about backstage with Boria. Talking about backstage with Boria. Talking all things backstage with Boria. So Boria's saying, what's up? Okay. All right. So Marta said he's fine, but could be mind games. Technically, it's perfect. It certainly is. Hazelwood's injury. Nobody's mentioned a word about an injury at all at this stage. So it could be he's being rested for later in the innings, later in the series. Who knows? Maybe there is an injury. Marta was quite an unusual conversation. It wasn't what I would call the most intellectual conversation, to be really honest with you. How are you on field settings? It's Pat Cummins' leadership. Any good in the field? Well, he is, as what even Marcus Labuschagne said, he's pretty hard from mid-on to be able to be heard with calls from around the team. Being at mid-on, he's not as good as if he's keeping or first slip. His fielding selections have been not necessarily bad, but I think it's more the bowling selections. If the one that we need to really understand is what happened to Jason with Josh Hazelwood. What is going on there? But that was. So Brougham Agenda, this is time to go ahead. Okay, so the field settings, people are all looking out there out to the coast there. I'm sure we're seeing anything too dramatic. Let's just turn our mind around to here now. We'll see a bit more of the goings on of the waves. People have been all looking. Can you see? You can see there's this Wedding Cake Island out there. Wedding Cake Island. Can you see Wedding Cake Island? That area there, there, where my finger is, that's called Wedding Cake Island. Let's get this all going here. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's better. Right. People are watching it. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Sorry? Dolphins. So we've got dolphins behind. Whereabouts? At the back there. We've apparently got dolphins behind. I don't know whether you guys can see dolphins, but there are dolphins out there, a large pod of them. Everybody's watching. Lots of dolphins apparently out there. Brougham Agenda, come join us. Boria, if you're there, I can see the background of I think you'll be coming up very soon. So we've got a pod of dolphins back there. Everybody's looking at a pod of dolphins is back there. I'm trying to work out where that is. There's an array of dolphins behind me. I don't know if you can all see that. So okay, do you think Cummins will be the long-term skipper if we lose the Ashes? Pressure on him is massive. No, I don't think, I honestly don't think Pat Cummins should be captain at all, if I'm being really honest with you. And if he is, he's captain you will see that it won't work for a long term. Maybe one dog popped out of the water. No, there's actually, you mean me? I'm not the dolphin, but there's quite a few. There's actually. Whereabouts are the dolphins? Where the boat is now. Just where the boat was. Oh, right out. I've got a YouTube channel live talking about cricket, and I'm talking about cricket, so I've got viewers all over the world. All right. So I'm just talking to people there. So where is Buria? Buria, are you coming? I can see Buria in the background. Okay. Well, can you join audio, Buria? That'll be good. I don't know whether I can. Can you join audio? Okay. Buria. Buria, can you speak? Let's see if we can hear you. Not hearing you, Buria. I'm not sure why. What am I supposed to do? Add to stream. Here we go. There we are. All right. Buria, can you hear me
Norman,
now?
I'm there. Hi.
So, Buria, can you see behind me? We've got a pod of dolphins at the moment. We're just at Coogee Beach here in Sydney, and I'm previewing the Ashes Day 4. You would have seen that, of course. Incredible how both Joe Root and Darwin Milan have fought back, wasn't it, Buria? Welcome, by the way, Buria Mujunda.
Was tremendous. Was absolutely tremendous. I mean, 147 all out, and then to come back 220 for 2. The match is set up. If you get a lead of 200 odd, it can be, it can be anybody's game. So Australia will have to pick early wickets, and the moment they get early wickets, pick up a couple of wickets this morning, it will still be their game. I still fancy Australia. 2 more wickets. All you need is 2 quick wickets, and you will be again into the England middle order, and the game can change. But it was fantastic to see the fight back, and that's what Ashes is all about. Nobody gives up till the last ball is bowled.
Buria, it's amazing. Don't forget, back in 2010 at the Gabba, Cook, Strauss, and Trott in the second innings, despite being out for a relatively small innings from the first innings, were 1 for 512. So they came back enormously in that match. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen here, but you never know, do you?
Absolutely. And what is interesting is how the pitch started to play true. I mean, on day 1, there was a lot of juice and a lot of grass, and clearly the bowlers were on top. But when Australia batted, especially towards the second half of the innings, after 7 down for 240, there was the late order contributed almost 200 runs. So clearly, batting had become easier. England is now showing it. This is a test for Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins, the captain, the bowling attack, Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazlewood, Nathan Lyon. He needs his 400th wicket. Is he putting pressure on himself? All these questions will be answered this morning.
Amazing, bro. I've just realised, it's just dawning upon me now that it's 4:30 a.m. in India, in Kolkata. Oh my God.
It is 4:30. That is why I told you that I will join audio, because my daughter's sleeping, so I could not sort of switch on the lights. But I was watching your broadcast, so I thought might as well join and say hi to you.
Now, Buria, I've got you on. The viewers will watch it. I'm going to make sure this is well broadcast. And I'm extremely excited about Backstage with Buria, your channel on the Rev Sports. Amazing guests you've had already. You've had the likes of Rohit Sharma. You've got Sourav Ganguly. You've got yourself, of course. And in the future, I know people, the likes of Sachin Tendulkar, Dave Warner, Kane Williamson, and on and on. They will be on your show, all lining up, dying to be on your show. So, Buria, I'm very excited and I'm very proud to be able to say that you are my first live, and you will have many very exciting chapters of your adventure now. And I think it's going to be fantastic. You've got a great staff behind you with Tabasha and the like. I think you've all good to you, and I'm constantly going to refer your videos to people, because there's nothing better. I mean, it's funny because you're not on screen at the moment, but the darkened look is your feature look. You had this beautifully dark background look with your face coming forward. I think it's brilliantly presented.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Norman. I mean, feel free to share the videos. It's your platform as well. It belongs to every fan. That is why this platform has been set up, to help sport, to add to sport, to celebrate sport, to enjoy sport. And yes, the lineup looks good. You won't believe that how players have come forward and supported, which was great to see. I mean, felt great because I reached out to them saying this is a celebration of sport. Nobody charged me a penny. Nobody asked for a penny. Whether it is anybody from any part of the world. Some of them are friends, obviously, so they came forward to support me. So deep appreciation. Whether it is Rohit, whether it is Saurav, whether it is Sachin, whether it is Ravichandran Ashwin, Surya Kumar Yadav, Venkatesh Iyer. So the experienced ones and the young ones. So it's a mixture. There's David Warner, there's Kane Williamson, and from storytelling perspective, there's a Clive Lloyd also. So it's a really interesting mixture of the past, the present, and future stars. Hopefully we will be able to get some good stuff out on mental health, on bubble life, on leadership, on the winning mantra, and then we will branch out to doing Olympic and Paralympic sport also. So plenty
Amazing.
coming up, Norman. Plenty coming up. I mean, we've also got the women stars, Mithali Raj, Jhulan Goswami. We will do a lot of programming building up to the Women's World Cup in New Zealand. So yes, should be a very interesting platform for sports fans.
Well, that's fantastic, boy. I'm really excited. I must give you a little tip. Shrapali Wirrakoti is in January going to open up the very first fitness centre in the centre of Colombo, a huge building. A friend of mine, Asanga Sinaratna, has financed that. I'm super excited. I'll have to get Shrapali Wirrakoti and Mira Jawir, the two people involved, to come on your show and talk about women's cricket, beyond cricket, the transition to what they do post cricket, which I think is extremely important for you to convey to your viewers as well. That need to understand that cricket, when it finishes, there's a bit of a void for players, whether it's male or female, and for them to have a future beyond that is extremely important. More so for the women, I think, because their finances are nowhere near the
From
men's.
from my standpoint, men's and women's cricket are equally important. This platform is not about men's cricket or anything. Ultimately, whether it is from the pay standpoint, whether it is from anything else, we have to strive towards inclusivity. And this is a mission. We will give as much importance to the women's game to try and understand the nuances, and celebrate the women's game. So absolutely, the moment they open their stuff in Sri Lanka, whether it is we do live with them from the opening, whether it is getting them on multiple shows, building up to the Women's World Cup, doing a series around it, my hand is up. As I said, ultimately this platform is a celebration of sport.
It's amazing, Corey. I must stop you there for a moment. I've been inundated by girls from various countries wanting to play in Australia in a reciprocal manner. They get exposure. I'm very concerned about some aspects of women's cricket, not so much the Australian and, say, England and New Zealand sides, but in particular some of the subcontinent countries. Even though they're getting good exposure, there's something missing. Like Sri Lanka hasn't played a match in 18 months until this recent qualifier. Horrible situation to be going through, and they need to support themselves beyond what they get from cricket. And I know you're an advocate of it, and I'm very proud of what you do and what you say about cricket. Indian women's cricket is certainly going up with the IPL next year. Hopefully we see that going. Saurav Ganguly mentioned it on your show, Backstage with Buria. I think that's a very impressive next stage.
We have to get it done. The moment you have a women's IPL, all of these subcontinental cricketers you're talking about, the batters, the bowlers, the all-rounders, all of these women, whether it is from Bangladesh, whether it's from Sri Lanka, any part of the world, all of them will come together to be WIPL in India. And imagine what
Fantastic.
kind of a platform that will be. It is absolutely essential we have that tournament. Look at how Harmanpreet Kaur played in the Women's Big Bash. 399 runs, 15 wickets, the player of the tournament. Clearly shows you the potential in the Indian women's game. Mithali Raj and Jhulan Goswami, the way they are celebrated, the way the build up will happen around the World Cup. So, this is the moment we've got to build this sport up so that it is at par with the men's game. And if that happens, imagine what kind of a revolution it will be in a country where every girl will then aspire to play sport. That is a far more important change than we can possibly even envisage, think, or conceptualize at this point in time. So that's where we need to get, and it is not simply about India. It is about the subcontinent. It is about the world. It is about making the sport a far more viable and economically productive pursuit for each of these girls. So absolutely, whatever we can do, yourself, myself, any fan, any one of us who can do a little contribution here will be welcome.
Boria, I wish you were here. If you look, can you see the screen? Are you able to see the screen at the moment?
Yes, I
No?
can.
Yeah, you can see there's a crowd watching out there. Can you see that? If I turn around, we've got a pod of about 20 dolphins playing up in the water out here. I wish you were here. It's amazing to see all this at lovely Coogee Beach. You know Coogee. I think I took you down here at one stage, but it's a lovely spot. And look, Boria, I'm going to talk more about your show because I'm convinced that we're looking at the leading sports network of the future. What you're creating now, albeit in very early days, will surpass all. The class, the infinite detail, the people that you have access to. You're loved by everybody, from past, present, and future players, the fans. They're going to enjoy your show, and I'm surprised it's not already 100,000 people. But everyone on this channel, and I'll make sure they get to see Backstage with Boria, and they'll move into that realm. It's magnificent. With the help of Extra Time and myself and other channels, it's going to be the platform. Now back to the game,
Thank you
Boria.
very
Now,
much,
Boria,
Norman.
are you up to staying a bit longer, or how are you feeling there?
No, I will mute myself now and keep hearing you. So you go for it. But as I said, thank you very, very much.
All right, thank you very much for coming on, Boria. We really appreciate it. Now there we are. That was Boria Majunda has just joined us for a little while, and that was rather privileged. If you haven't seen it already, I'm just going to thank him on WhatsApp. He joined us there from his bed at some 4:35 in the morning. A man who was able to get on his program. Sourav Ganguly, the likes of Sachin Tendulkar, Rohit Sharma, David Warner, Kane Williamson, Mithali Raj, Harmanpreet Kaur, you name it, he can get on his show. Amazing man. I'll just go back to my full microphone there. It's better go. You can hear me clear now, I'm hoping. So we had dolphins, about some 20 dolphins out there. Amazing situation. All right, there's a bit of an extra there for you guys. It's not every day you're on television, on YouTube, and you get to see a bunch of dolphins behind you coming out of the water. Hamid and Milan have been revelations. A year ago, Sibley and Crawley were the first choices. Tim, look, I wouldn't take away Zach Crawley. I think Zach Crawley is still someone of great note. I think that he's fantastic, and I think he could even feature in the series if the chances arise. I just followed your YouTube channel. His cricket knowledge is world class. So yeah, yes, Boria Majunda. How fortunate am I can quickly WhatsApp a man who's asleep at 4:30 in the morning. He's asleep at 4:30 in the morning, and I could get him onto my show, albeit not facially, but certainly verbally. Great friend of mine, Boria. He was on my very first live show. Now gone to 300 and I think 319 of them. Let me have a, how many have I done? This is my 320th live. I've had Boria on my first, about my 210th, and now my 320th. Great bloke. His YouTube knowledge, not his YouTube, his cricket knowledge is immense, but he's also his sporting knowledge across all sports, across all aspects of either Olympics, other sports, and now he's also got a great history museum of cricket, of sport, and he actually has what they call one of the very first virtual museums or virtual libraries of sport. Amazing to watch in future. Okay, so for the Ashes, an early, it was at 4 a.m. from Kolkata, and great to hear from Boria. Certainly was one of the best journalists there. That certainly should be sending this out to people that haven't watched this. I'll make that clip come on a bit later. Captain Norman. Well, what do I mean Captain Norman? I'm not Captain Norman. Baram, where are you? I thought you'd come on by this stage. It was magnificent to have Boria on there. So we are now looking at about another, I think it's another quarter of an hour before the time the play will start. Yes. Two people in their pajamas in the morning. Let's have a look here. See how the Ashes thing. We've got Ishigua. I think Shane Warne might be there as well. I can't see. But Joe Root, I mean, there's no fear that he's in great form. what a comeback for a man who's got out for a duck in the first innings, looks all at sea. He's certainly come back to be not out 86 and in such a fighting nature as well. Yeah, Dom Sibley, let's be honest, didn't do it that well, but I think Zach Crawley's not gone, Tim. I think you may see Hamid still in revelation. Rory Burns still has a wait bit to go. He has already scored runs. Hamid has to convert it to a century now. Milan will do that today. He's 80. Let's hope he doesn't go out cheaply. Let's hope they start well. Would like Smith back as captain, but probably won't happen. His cricket playing is brilliant. Steve Smith, look, was he brilliant? After the Sandpaper game, there was no sign of brilliance there as far as I'm concerned. That was a very ordinary effort. He was lording over that. It may have been Dave Warner and Bancroft that did the dirty, but it was Steve Smith who was captain, and he didn't take the responsibility he should have, and that was what was very disappointing. Very disappointing indeed. So we've been able to get some, another. It's now in India. It's 4:45. So Buria was on from about 4:30 in the morning. To get Buria Marjuna on my show on 4:30 in the morning, it's pretty good going, I can assure you. All right, let's have a look here. So we've got all that going. The banners are there. You've got a bit of a storm cloud happening. We had dolphins at the back here. They're not there. I don't think they're there now. Wedding Cake Island there. To my. You see it close. So that's that there in the corner there. That little water there. That's called Wedding Cake Island. I don't quite know why. Does it look like a wedding cake? Some people would argue it does, but it doesn't necessarily. It looks like one to me. All right. So Steve Smith won't come back to captain. We've got to find a new captain. Pat Cummins is not the long-term captaincy. Let's be honest. We're going to need to get another captain on board. We're probably going to need to get someone. I'm still referring back to Curtis Pattinson, even Usman Khawaja, both doing well for the states, Queensland, New South Wales as captains. Jason Sanger, captain of Australia to the Under-19 World Cup. In fact, India was the team that actually beat them. India beat them, so that was an Under-19 World Cup, certainly. People are there watching this. People watching the water behind us. There's a lot going on in that water, I can tell you. All right, let's go around here a bit more. That's it. We'll go around here. We'll have a look at the situation there with I'm trying to. Yeah, there's dolphins right out there. You can barely distinguish them. The man there, and he's you see the man and he's on his board there. There's a man on the board there. You see the man on the board, standing on the board. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Are you doing a documentary on?
I'm actually not doing a documentary. I'm actually live on a cricket channel around the world.
Fantastic.
Come and join us. What's your name?
Ricky Ponting.
Ricky Ponting. I don't think this is. If Ricky Ponting. There we are.
Boys,
Now, look, come on. Hi.
Speak for surf lads. I recommend it. Very good.
What's your name?
There's 12. Ricky Ponting.
Oh, it's not Rocky.
Rodney Burgess.
Rodney
Born
Burgess.
in London.
Oh, well, hello.
But I've changed teams. I follow the bloody baggy greens. Because they're going to win. Yes.
The baggy greens.
The baggy greens.
Okay. Now,
Good team.
then hang on a minute. But today, England are 2 for 220. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I know. But, mate, we're good. We are good. And we've got confidence. We've got experience. We've got the side. We've got the side of the century.
I think Rodney's gone. Have you been drinking something
I've
in
been
there?
smoking a little bit of marijuana. I didn't inhale, though.
So, Rodney
Here we
Burgess,
go.
now what's your role here with the Coogee Surf
I'm
Lifestyle?
one of the veteran members.
One of the veteran men.
I'm the backbone of the club and probably the best looking.
Right. Is that backside or backbone, did you say?
That's what my mother said. She wears glasses usually.
Oh, all right. Now, we're actually live to India. This is Eyes on Cricket with Norman Cox. You can see them, I think.
I expect that.
And we have a lot of people watching. In fact, a lot of people from England. I think good old United Extra Time. I don't know where he's from.
We've got three watches, have we?
They've got 6.
Oh, 6. That's better than none.
Well, it's been better than that. Chris.
What's your name, mate?
My name is Norman Kochnick.
Norman Kochner.
Kochnick, and I've got my own channel. And
That's
it does
beautiful.
better than 6 on live, that's for sure. Well,
Yeah.
nice to meet you, Rodney.
Well, that's fantastic, Norman. And Are you any relation to Greg Norman,
I would like to have his money.
the Joker? All right, guys. God bless. I've got to go. I've got another
Appointment.
broadcast.
Another broadcast. All right. Thanks for that. Yeah, that was a bit of fun, Rodney. One of the life's of the character. Yes. All right. So we digress. We digress, guys. That's what you get. It's some great characters in Australia. So, looks more like an 80-year-old Warren. That probably would have been the case. His name was Rodney Burgess, for the record. And there we are. I'm sitting here, and I'll get people who are very curious as to what I'm doing. There's waves splashing in the back there. How's the volume, guys? Let me know how the volume is. Give me a yes, clear. Let me know that the volume's good. I'm trusting your words, guys. Someone say it's clear. The sun's starting to come out. Barely able to see the screen. Plenty of sun coming out all of a sudden. We're hitting 10:20 in the morning. Dolphins here a short while ago, as you know. So the game's got about 10 minutes before the start. We may have to go to a slightly more conducive spot. We don't seem to have much in the way of sun protection. All right, so let me see if I can read these comments. It's clear. Okay, good. All right. So we've got some 9 minutes before the game will restart. It's certainly going to be an interesting period of time here indeed. So Australia will need to get their act together early in this innings. I'm going to find it hard to read. Good morning. Good on you. People are pointing out there. Where are these? Oh, there's a huge pot of them. I don't know whether you can see this, guys. How good's your vision? Can you see out there now? People are pointing. Can you see the people pointing out there? A bunch of no, you're not going to be able to see it, guys. It's unfortunate. There's a huge pot of dolphins. There's probably about 20 or 30 bottles. Let me just try and take a photograph there of that. Let's have a look here. So we can grab a whole lot of these dolphins. There we are. Dolphins are plenty out there at the moment. Plenty of onlookers. Great to see. So, what will happen today? Well, what will happen today? Well, you would think that England can continue batting the way they have, and if England do bat the way they have, they're 2 for 220. They'll be able to surpass the 278 threshold to start scoring runs that make Australia bat again. I would think that's where we're going to talk about the situation, guys. So I may have to move over there somewhere in a minute, get some better light. Because we're clearly very bright here. All right, guys, I'm struggling to see whether. Let's have a look. We've got. Okay. We might get a better spot, guys. I'm trying to work out a better spot. I'm completely not seeing the screen now, so we might have to move somewhere else. Let's have a look here. A good spot here, private members only. I'll try and get this might be a better spot here. Let's see if this is a better spot. No, I can't see a thing now. Let's find a better spot. So I'm looking at you. It's facing me. Yeah, sure. There we go in the corner over here. How about that? There we are, that's better. So the gentleman doing his bit there. Low battery. I have to move a bit, guys. So beautiful view, beautiful country. Just love what they see. That's good, guys. Let's try and wind this up a little bit. Some smelly socks here. All right, there we go. We can then be able to work with this spot here. Put the can there. All right, so you can all hear me. So as you can see, we're still at Coogee. I think a bit of a slightly higher spot so this is possible. There we go. So the questions, I'm going to read those questions. Yeah, cricket in Australia and New Zealand has certainly been a great spot. So here we are at Coogee Beach. We're in a situation here where you can see a man is exercising the back. It's quite amusing. Let's just go there. There we are. So we're how long have we got to go? We've got another 5 before the game actually starts. We may actually walk around a bit and get ourselves in a better spot. Let's just enjoy what we see in Coogee. Move it. Lots of guys with cameras. There we go. I just be able to come over here. There we are. Yeah, let's sit down here for a while. Okay. That's a bit better. You should be able to hear me pretty clearly from here. All right. So, very hard to read the questions, guys. It's very, very glary, but we're in a situation here where we're going as far as we can. There we are. All right. Certainly today will be interesting. We'll have cricket starting very shortly with Australia having it all to do. It takes 8 more wickets to finish this match off, or England have it all to do and they can continue batting the way they have at 2 for 220, some 58 runs adrift of the Australian first innings total. They can get that out of the way and they'll be back effectively 2 for 0, but with 2 gun batsmen as Milan and Root on strike. The background here at the Coogee Surf Life Saving Club near what they call Seddon Garden. We have the game about to start. I've got a little friendly bird. Come here, bird. The bird decided to join me. We had Broma Junda on earlier. It was quite amazing. He wasn't able to be a visual because it was 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Luckily there, we've got some viewing here. So they're already out the bat. They're batting about 2 minutes early, as a matter of fact. David Milan's keen as mustard to be out there. He's 80 not out of 177 balls, we can see. 80 not out of 177 balls. It's quite an impressive effort indeed by David Milan. And Root's 86 off 158 deliveries. England are 2 for 220. About to start day 4. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I'm sure you've got all visuals of what's going on, guys. Here I am with the backdrop. Coogee Surf Life Saving Club, having just been. I've got a little birdie here joining me on my. You can see what's there. There we go. A lot of people are still watching the dolphins that have arrived out in Sydney Harbour, but here we are. Game at start. Unable to read the comments at the moment, guys, so bear with me. If I'm not replying to your comments, not because I'm ignoring you, it's just purely based on not being able to see the comments. But here we are. We have Cummins is opening up the morning's play, I can see. Cummins is coming in to bowl. It looks like the first over. They're all ready to go. They're not mucking around here at all. Who have they got? Is it, their eyes on Josh Hazelwood there at the moment. He's on the field and he looks ready to go, doesn't he? We'll soon find out whether he can bowl or not. He's on the field from ball one, so very big concentration on him at the moment. He looks in fine condition, doesn't he? Here we are. Pat Cummins bowling the first ball of the fourth day's play to Milan. Didn't even reach the keeper. It barely got to the keeper. That was a rather low bounce. Is that indicative of what we're going to see today? Let's see. There's a lot of people are all. If you look at the people out there, you'll see people watching there. They're all watching the dolphins. Some dolphins out there, all watching dolphins. We're watching cricket. Mitchell Stark's down at fine leg. He seems to be warming up. Cummins comes in the bowl again. Second ball reaches the keeper. Carey with slightly better carry. Cummins looks, he's bowled into his 15th over and he's got 1 for 43. He took the wicket, if I'm not wrong, of Burns. This innings, Josh Hazelwood's bowled 8 overs, 4 maidens, none for 13. That's minus 1. He's standing there. Is he in fine leg? I'm not sure if it's fine leg or not, but he's there. Milan quite happily just pads the ball back on 80 not after 180 deliveries. Bruce been there for 158 deliveries. So Jabu is saying hi from Bangladesh. Can't wait match to start, so I can grab a cold beer. Okay. There you go. 2 for 220. We just need 2 more runs and it would be a classic Richie Benaud comment. 2 for 222. In fact, right behind me, the street here, which is actually Beach Street, is where Richie Benaud used to live. In fact, his wife still lives here. Only 100 to 200 metres away is Richie Benaud's home. Quite intriguing. The man who coined the phrase 2 for 222. Someone's spoiled. A lady was holding a dog in the hands. It was quite fun. So, 4 balls, 4 dot balls at this stage. Pat Cummins looks very much like he's bowling steadily. He's gone around the wicket now to Milan, a lot closer to the stumps. People are all coming down the Coogee Beach. It's a lot sunnier now than it was. With the Barmy Army in full force, we can see. Barmy Army is in full force. David Milan facing the last ball of the over. Let's it go. Full over, a maiden from Pat Cummins, the first 71st over. Score is 2 for 220. No one has been added to the overnight score. Milan looked very settled in the way he handled that. Conscious that he's let every ball go. No pressure at all. Hi there, Gargoyle Vidya. Now, are they going to open with Nathan Lyon, are they? There's a fair bit of talk about Nathan Lyon. He may hold up one end today and they may let the fast bowlers take the other end. And considering Nathan Lyon's still trying to get his bloody 400th Test wicket. It's a bit of a joke that he's so much pressure been putting. He's got 399 Test wickets. That's a brilliant effort. To be struggling to get 400 at this hub. There's already a pale first ball, and that was yesterday. Darren Milan on 37. It was an appeal, which was turned down. Nowhere near it. It's off his pad. So we have now got Nathan Lyon bowling this over. Nathan Lyon coming on to bowl to Joe Root, who is the master of spin. He went to has his own sweeping academy, let's call it. Nathan Lyon with his very much bowling hair. Line is almost non-existent. He shaves the rest of it off to make it look like he's got something there, but he hasn't. Joe Root's already on the 87, which is normally it's 2 for 221. And as I said, I'm on the street where Richie Beno lived these last years, or a number of his years in Coogee, with his wife, Daphne. The score is 2 for 221. Milan facing Lyon. He's cut the ball, but straight back on point. Milan looks very secure. I shouldn't overstate that, but he looks like he's well settled. He's down the wicket and he's got himself. No, he hasn't got himself a single. Although he's down the wicket for sure. That's for sure. Milan 80, Root 87. The score is 2 for 221. He's played a very comfortable looking drive. Milan looks at ease at the moment. Line to Milan, a more straighter delivery, which went a little bit closer to stumps than Milan would have liked. 2 for 221. Lions delivery. That was more of an arm ball. I think slight movement, not much. A lot of bounce though. A lot of bounce. He's driven that very well. He'll get a single there. He's off the mark for the day, and the score is officially 2 for 222. I repeat, as Richie Beno would always say, 2 for 222 on Beach Street in Coogee, where he used to live. Well, they're showing a ball which went straight last night. I didn't go quite as straight. So 2 for 222. Root 87. Milan 81. They've added 2 runs to the overnight total. Need to get 56 more runs to return to a zero base. This partnership now is 161. Oops. Cummins coming on for his 16th over. One more on the bench. All their dogs. Part of saying he's ringing me. Let's see if she can join. Oh, so they've actually officially announced the Ashes is definitely going to be played at in Hobart. They weren't going to announce it yesterday, and they've announced it now. This has been made official. It's absolutely official. The Hobart will host the 5th Test match at Blundstone Stadium, which is in, of course, Hobart. It's going to suddenly, that makes it a very, very interesting series indeed. So, there we are. So we've got the official media release there stated. So there we have it. Harness just rang me. I hope she enjoyed it. English lost this, will lose this match. Well, at this early stage, I think that's a pretty fair comment. There we have it. Media releases there. Blundstone saying will be the most appropriate venue for the 5th match. This is a we'll need to edit a little bit. There we have it. There we have it. The media release has just gone out. Punter saw that. Punter's not going to join. All right, so we now have 2 for 223, Milan on 82 and Root is on 87. We might just update that score, shall we? Two for 223. Is it still 223? Looks like it is. Two for 223. There it is. That puts them some 54 behind now. And Root had some sort of injury. This was last night, but he's okay. Root is on 87. Milan is on 82. England are 2 for 223. Some 54. In fact, 223. They're 55 adrift. Very interesting indeed. If I can find a place I can better sit and see what's going on, it'll be even better. But there's too much glare here, I'm afraid. Look, we've got less glare. I'll have to stay here for a bit longer. There's far too much glare everywhere else. So I hope you're enjoying this. We've got England on 2 for 223 with Milan on 82 and Route 87. Milan facing line, plunging down the wicket. Milan looks quite assured, but you know, He's got 18 to go for his 100. We'll wait and see whether he can reach that. He's driving the ball, but he's putting it to the field at this stage. He's got time. He knows he has. His partnership now is 162. 162. It's more than the entire England first inning score. Is his partnership at this stage. Lyon is coming to bowl to Milan. He's out, is he? Oh my God, Milan has popped it. And there's Nathan Lyon's 400th Test wicket. Finally gets 400 Test wickets. Milan goes for 82, caught off a rather strange-looking half shot. And Nathan Lyon's got his 400th Test wicket now. He should be happy. He can get that monkey off his back. And you have a situation where the ball was... He went down to the wicket. Then he played onto his pad and popped it. And it was caught easily by, looks like Labuschagne. So Milan is out for 82. Unfortunately, he didn't get his 100. It's not. It was a bit of a lazy shot. That was Nathan Lyon's 400th Test wicket, which is always an achievement. He can move on from that now. He's got 1 for 71 into his 26th over. Having a minor drinks break. So he's played 101 Test matches. He's got 400 wickets now. Economy rate of 2.99 at 34 years of age. So there's only 1 or 2 people who have gone above him. That would be obviously Warne and McGrath, and that's him next, the third person to reach more than 400 or 400 or more. 3 for 223. Ben Stokes is coming out now. He scored 4,636 runs at an average of 36.79. 4,600 is pretty damn good. I would say he's going to set the scene very nicely here. Three for 223. Root still there on 87. Unfortunately, Milan was caught with the bowling of Lyon, his 400th Test wicket. I'm sure we'll be talking to Nathan Lyon later in the interview, having got 400. So Nathan Lyon, 400 Test wickets and Test matches, of course. Would make Nathan Lyon very happy to have taken his 400. Now he can just relax. On to the 500th. Will he reach 500? He probably would think not, but you never know. They're probably placing too much importance on Nathan Lyon's bowling. He has bowled well, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily something outrageous. Let's get Root to a century, shall we? Can't. That's the one that I would like to see. Showing this mistake, half went out to it, went straight. And why would you go out? Sorry, guys. I was just I lost battery there for a minute. Had to return to the car. So, can you hear me clearly, guys? Just let me know if you can hear me clearly. That would be appreciated. Be able to continue our broadcast as per normal. It's a real pity they've lost the wicket of David Milan. That was unfortunate. Janukas and that JS says 3. Can you guys hear me? Just we have a guest coming on now. Your arms on.
Hey Norman, where were you? When I joined, it was like back screen.
I just disappeared. My phone went dead.
Okay, battery gone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
I had Burya Majunda on for about.
Yeah, I was there. I was there when I heard him. Means he was not visible, but he was audible. I was actually brushing my teeth at that time, so but heard him loud and clear.
You were washing your what?
Brushing my teeth.
It was interesting to hear him talk, wasn't it? It's good to have him.
Yeah.
4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, correct. Surprising he joined even verbally.
Well,
and what he shared was very good.
But he was posting something on Facebook at that time, and I happened to see that, and I thought, oh, what's going on here? So I messaged him on WhatsApp and said, I'm talking about you right now, and he joined me.
Must be an early bird then. Or did not sleep from last night.
He couldn't go visual because he was next to his daughter, and obviously that would be inappropriate. Mm-hmm. What a pity David Milan got out just then. That was terrible. I was disappointed for him.
Oh, during the match. Okay. I still not have tuned into the match. I'm still thinking of yesterday.
Well, David Milan prodded away a little bit there, and then he got caught at stealing it off by Labuschagne, and he was out for 82, and he's put to his overnight score.
Who's the bowler?
Lyon got his 400th Test wicket.
Oh, that's great.
That's good for Nathan
Lyon must be very happy.
He would be he was ecstatic.
If they lost this early wicket, then it's big task for England now.
So, well, Ben Stokes just hit a 4, so I don't think he's too worried. Ben Stokes is, probably attacking away there at the moment.
Okay.
CWE can strike again. What is CWE? I'm not sure. Clear if we can strike again. Okay. For the new ball, this could be deciding moment in the game. True. Well, Ben Stokes just hit a 4, so they're 3 for 228. They're now 50 runs behind.
Root got a century?
Root's 88.
Okay.
He's just got a single. He's 89. So they're effectively 3 for minus 49.
So since yesterday morning you are in your car, you have not gone home?
No, I have gone. I was at the beach. Did you see there were dolphins behind me? Did you see the dolphins?
I saw one big, ugly-looking dolphin in yellow. Other than that, we could only see the sea. I could not see the dolphin, honestly.
Yeah, no, but there was all these people going, look, there's dolphins, look. And there was a pod of about 20 of them. It's quite a nice start to the day.
No, it's common here in Philippines also. Like whenever we go for these island hopping tours, we always see dolphins.
Yeah. So, the islands of the Philippines, how many islands are there? So many.
7,114, I think.
So where are you? You're in Manila, aren't you?
Yeah, correct.
Right in the main part of town, or are you?
No, right in smack, I would say, middle of the town, like in the business district. That's where I stay.
Right. Ben Stokes has just tried to hit a line over the boundary. But Ben Stokes is not going to stay there for long if he doesn't watch it. He looks very aggressive, which is silly.
Maybe that's a tactic. But overall, this game has been scored at a very high run rate. See, we lost actually one session to rain. Still, if you see, both England is going at 3+ runs a row, 3.5, almost touching 4, and even same with Australia when they scored. So
Yeah,
the scoring
we're
rate
into the
has been
fourth
pretty
day
high.
now. We're into
Hmm.
the fourth day, so it's pretty. I didn't expect to be here this long, so we'll wait and see. The reality is you've got Hazelwood. They still haven't mentioned anything about Hazelwood, whether he's injured or not. He's on the field from ball one, though.
But did he bowl? Yesterday there was a mention that, or there was another strategy that they are resting him so that they will get him for the new ball.
Interesting. I wonder about that.
That was another strategy, I think, what they were discussing, that they would rest him and get him for the new ball.
Well, you would argue that was a silly decision because they could have needed him to take wickets earlier on. Anyway, what's going on now, which is interesting, we've got the 5th test in Hobart has been made official. I asked Cricket Australia yesterday. They said there was no decision pending yesterday, nor this weekend. Well, they've come out today. I think under pressure they've had to announce it. And
Yeah, I saw it in your community page. So I think all the subscribers can have a look at your community page.
Exactly. It's the official announcement came out this morning. So Hobart, I'm definitely going to be down there for that. I'm going to be in Adelaide as well. Hopefully Melbourne, definitely Sydney. So every
you'll
match
be
now,
watching 4 out of the 5 matches for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Well, I'm in Sydney now. That's okay. This test.
I'm jealous of you, Norman.
Oh my God, there's an edge. Oh my God, Root has just edged Cameron Green. He's caught behind for 89. Damn it.
God. I think that's over now. Maybe that's the death bell.
I think you're right. I think that may have just blown it for England. They've lost 2 wickets now this morning for 9 runs. Root caught behind off Cameron Green.
Root is very close to being the highest run scorer in a calendar year.
Yeah, it certainly will. I mean, he's just edged the ball through to the keeper. Don't know why he played that shot. There was nothing there. 89, Root got. What a pity. Again, he doesn't get 100 in Australia. But look, he can't knock his performance. It was fantastic. But they're now 49 behind. They're 4 for minus 49 effectively. I kind of fear that we're going to see a bit of a collapse now, especially with the new ball coming up soon.
Yeah,
and we've got Ollie Popeson now. He's a bit of a fighter, but they needed Milan and Root to go further than they have, and unfortunately,
Butler is still there, right? Butler still will play, right?
Yeah, Butler's a good. They've still got good players to come, but they needed Milan and Root to go past the 270.
At least Root, because remaining batters, they are not like long lasting kind of guys.
Yeah. So Ollie Pope scored. He's played 21 Test matches. In fact, he got out the first innings bang on 1,000 Test runs. So he probably didn't get a chance to celebrate it. He got 1,000 Test runs in Test cricket. Would have been his last innings, and he got out. So Cameron Green must be ecstatic. He's just gotten Root for effectively only 3 runs this morning because he was 86 overnight.
Last inning also he took 1 wicket, right? Cameron Green took 1 wicket, right? In the first innings.
Now it's his second. And this is probably a better wicket because the other wicket was off a pull shot, caught at backward point or backward square leg. At least this was a genuine edge off a ball outside of stump. And I don't know what Root was doing. Root was just prodding. Very unusual shot. Cameron Green is ecstatic. Cameron Green gets the man himself, Joe Root. That's a big scalp, especially when he scored 1,500 runs this calendar year and he's #1 England player ever to score that. He's only behind Mohammed Yusuf and Viv Richards to score the most runs ever in this calendar year. Mohammed Yusuf got 1788 and Viv Richards got 50, around the 1,700 mark. So Root's now 3rd on that list. That's a pretty big effort for Cameron Green. Nice to see Cameron Green get a second wicket. It's also nice to see Nathan Lyon get 400. And I was on earlier, and it was 2 for 222. And the road where I'm sitting right now, maybe about 15 houses up the road here, is where Richie Beno lived, and his wife Daphne Beno still lives. And of course, he coined the saying 2 for 222. There's a very famous call of Rishi Bennell. I happen to be only a short way from his home. It's funny, isn't it?
So you are near Coogee Beach itself.
Lion Can Sleeping in Pool. Where is the community page? You know, at Extra Time. If you go along, you'll see how does it work. If you go along, you'll see on my YouTube channel, you've got. Let me have a look.
I think first you need to be subscribed.
You go to your
YouTube
channel, Extra Time, and you go along the top. You'll see home, videos, playlist, community. Where it says community, you press on community, and there's a tab, and there's posts there. Did you get that? Extra Time. Have a look. Go across back to my homepage of my YouTube channel, home, slide across videos, playlists, community, and you have that. That's called community. Can you see that? I'm sure you can see. Community. Yes, you got it. Okay. That's where, if you click there, you'll scroll up. I put regular posts there as well. Yes. All right. So
I'm saying, where are you right now? Near Coogee Beach? Where is Richie Bennell's
I'm on
house?
Beach Street, Coogee Beach.
Okay.
If you look out the window, I'm actually in the car at the moment, charging up my phone. Let me look here. Can you see there?
Okay.
Can you see water?
Yeah, I can see water. I can see the beach. Looks very much like Bondi Beach.
It's a lot smaller. It's much smaller than Bondi, but it's a bit like that. So this is the southern end of Coogee. Can you all see that, guys? All right. And if you look the other way, see up there, can you see the street? That's called Beach Street. That's Beach Street. That's where good old Richie Benno, his wife Daphne Benno, lives now. Lyons only needs another 400 to reach Moorley. So Nathan Lyons only halfway to reaching Moorley. He'll never do that. We know that.
Shit.
I dare say.
Even if he surpasses Shane Warne, it's a big deal.
Well, that's 700. He won't reach. I don't think he can.
That's not good.
So they've got four wickets. Yes, of course, we've got both. I better just update my banner. So we've got both Root and Milana both out. It's not what England would have liked. 4 for 233.
And
they've only added 10 runs.
How many overs for the new ball?
Can't be many. Must be only less than 5 or 6. Okay. Well, 10 overs from the start of the day's play. Ben Stokes he's a great man, a very attractive player to watch. And so they're 4 for. What are we now? 4 for 234 actually.
Paul Newman, new ball coming up.
Yeah, can't be very far away.
New ball coming up. That's
Paul Newman's talking from his grave because he's dead. Anyway, I guess you can operate YouTube from heaven. Is that that's what I'm trying to say?
I want to know what network is he using. Such reach.
the heavenly network. He would have 100G, not 5G, but 100G. G being God.
Or heavenly G. Heaven G.
Heavenly God. That's true. Oh my God, there's another wicket that's just fallen. Nathan Lyon's taken another wicket. He's gone from 399 to 401 very quickly. Looks like Pope's just edged at the first slip.
I don't think they'll take the new ball now.
I think they're going to be all out before they need a new ball, actually, the way they're going. Yeah, that's a mess. They've lost 3 for 14 this morning.
At least they should make Australia bat.
The ball actually really jumped on him. And Steve Smith took a... I'll tell you what, looks like the floodgates have just opened a little bit. We won't see the day's play out the way they're going.
Yeah, but I hope they just make Australia bat. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. It doesn't...
Did they come on the show yesterday? Did anyone from England come on the show? Chris, Reg, Monty?
It's a very weird time, I guess.
Maybe today...
We're waking up at 4:30 in the morning. Boy Imogen woke up 4th, and Aparna's just rung me, but she's probably still asleep. Yeah, the floodgates will open. So Daniel
Aparna rarely
Mansour
comes
reckons
along
I'm
there,
6.
but
Is Daniel Mansour someone you know?
pardon?
Daniel Mansour, is that someone you know?
No, I don't know him. Every time he tells me sexy Beram. I don't know.
Is your wife in the other room texting?
No, my wife has gone out for a run.
England fans in
So
hiding.
I don't know,
Quite
Daniel,
nice.
are you one of my, I don't know, someone who I know, but don't think I know anybody in the name of Daniel Mansour.
It's not his real name.
I know Daniel Craig, the guy who plays James Bond.
Do you know him? Rubbish. See that ball? The ball that got out Pope really bit and turned and jumped. Really, it bit and turned and it really jumped.
Pope has been, he's gone to heaven.
The Pope has been dethroned. He's no longer
Correct.
the Pope. He's now he's just a cardinal. All right.
I think we should keep this heavenly talk for tomorrow, Sunday, being the day of the church.
Well, there'll be no cricket tomorrow. Put it that way. There'll be no cricket tomorrow at all. In fact, tonight the Big Bash, the Sydney Sixers are playing the Hobart Hurricanes at the SCG. I might go.
Big Bash, both are going on, the women's as well as men's, or it's only men's?
Women's already over.
Oh, okay.
The Perth Scorchers, I think, won that. They beat the Adelaide Strikers. That was over in Perth. No one heard about it because it was in Perth. So 5 for 234. Butler has not scored yet. Stokes is on 5. Lions got 2 now, 2 wickets now. Lions getting lots of bite and turn all of a sudden. Things are jumping around.
Yeah, it was. He was getting turned yesterday also, Norman, but just he did not get a wicket. He beat the bat so many times, especially to Malan.
So Daniel Mansour reckons I'm always in the car. Well, I'm not always in the car. I spent most of the morning at Coogee Beach, and then I had nudity around me. I had dolphins swimming in the background. Then I was in the steps of the surf club. Now my battery ran out, so I had to go back to the car. That's why I'm
Norman,
here.
yesterday also, all day I saw you. You were in the car only. It was raining.
But you saw me earlier today. I was not in the car for a good hour.
Yeah. You were outside near the beach. I don't know doing what, scaring people away. Kids were getting.
The camera's facing me, but people think it's facing out. They think I'm filming them, and they go, "Excuse me." I said, "I'm not filming you."
Yeah.
So we are Australia. We've got England 5 for 234. There's still 44 runs adrift.
There were reports today morning that some guy in yellow was scaring kids away on Coogee Beach.
Well, maybe they're wearing a yellow hat on a yellow jacket. All right, so 5 for 234, 44. So 5 for minus 44. They're going to be. It'll be only a small amount, if any, that Australia will need to bat today. I'd say.
Daniel Mansour is asking about Fawad Alam technique. I feel if something works for him, there's no problem at all. It's a perfectly good technique, and I feel that movement always keeps a batsman active and makes him more responsive. That's my theory, what I believe, which I've seen with Shivner and Chandrapal, even Brian Lara. Those who make a kind of a pre-movement before even the bowler move, it makes you more active. It's something like, think about, like fielders at the 30-yard circle or even at the boundary. They take 2 or 3 steps in before even the ball is bowled. So that's like, to something like get you off the mark or something.
It's good to see Cameron Green get a couple of wickets, and in particular getting Root. And if he can bat well, he got out for a golden duck this innings.
But Root does get out to these, I don't know, lapse of concentrations. If you remember in the India series also, that he got out to a very, I think to Shardul Thakur, if I'm not wrong, to a very loose ball outside the off. He goes to do something and gets out.
Yeah, but he's also scored 6 centuries and 1,500 runs. So I think we can not knock his batting. I reckon his batting's been fantastic. But he has a bit said last off stump. But after scoring 1,500 runs this year, I think he'd be and 9,300 plus Test runs. I think he's got every right to be pretty comfortable. What's going on there? Is it a pillow? What's this?
No, my son wants. Yesterday we went for a movie, so surprisingly they gave the popcorn after the movie. So he was eating the popcorn and wants to switch it off because eating inside the cinemas was not allowed.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 5 for 234. So it's 11:12 a.m. here, which is 10:12 a.m. in Brisbane.
So do you think Australia will bat, Norman? What's your prediction?
Well, they're 5 for 40 minus 44. Yeah, they'll probably bat, but not for very many runs.
That's good.
I mean, Stokes and Butler are both pretty good bloody bats.
At least pressure off Pat Cummins, because there were a lot of talks like, oh, what will happen, and then Pat Cummins will be under pressure and all those things like that.
Well, he wins the Test match. He's got no pressure at all now. He's, it's all about.
Daniel, I'm from Philippines.
Well, I thought I'd just do something different, not be at home. I went to the beach today. Now that the battery's a bit low, I went to the car.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and get someone to sit next to me and do a show from the seat. Like there's a show called, you've seen, I think there's a few comedy shows where they have the person next to them. Like, what's his name?
But is there, Norman, there's a problem there. Is there space next to you?
There's lots of space. What are you talking? There's plenty of space. We'll have everybody here, and I might have guests come in and sit next to me. That's what I'll do. I had a gentleman come next to me at the beach before. That was pretty cute. All right.
Yeah, the young guy yesterday, right? You're talking about.
Yeah, I had an old guy today. So another guy joined.
No, today I did not see any old guy. Yesterday I saw a young guy you were speaking to.
No, we had a guy today.
Okay, Norman, I'll sign off now.
All right. Bram, thanks for joining me.
Sure, take care.
So
Bye bye.
Will Australia bat?
I believe no.
Oh, really? We'll have to take some early wickets then, won't they?
Because the new ball is also coming in, so.
That's true. That's going to be the.
That's the old ball is also acting up.
All right.
Okay, catch you, Norman. Bye bye.
All right,
bye, everyone.
Thanks, Bram. Thank you very much for joining me. Really appreciate it.
Sure, enjoy.
Ciao, ciao. Well, there we have it. I have got room next to me. You can see there's a full chair there. So let's not talk about that. So England have barely survived here. They're 5 for, what are they now? They're 5 for 234 the last time I looked. Gotta sort this out. This is some not very good reception here, guys. So Daniel managed someone saw Brahma's not here now. So look at the live score, shall we? Ben Stokes and Butler both can bat. Let's be honest. There's nothing to shake. 5 for 239. Butler's on 5. Stokes on 5. Well, they've still got 39 runs. 80 overs have gone. 5 for 239. Butler and Stokes both on 5. Lions got 2 for 78. Wickets recap. First wicket was Pat Cummins. Got a ball to pop against Burns. He was out caught behind. And then Mitchell Stark got a tickle off Hamid's bat down the leg side, caught by Carey. And then Milan today, jumping out the crease, not doing very well, caught by Labuschagne for 82. And then Joe Root feathered it to Kerry Keeper off green for 89. Off 4 down. Then Nathan Lyon bowled outside, some balls chipped and popped, but Pope's hit it to first some Smith. And that's Nathan Lyon's second wicket and his 401st. Wokes can't combat as well. Yes, he can, Paul. He certainly can. Just going to quickly check from one of the guys. What's the story with my percentages? Not a very high percentage. So 5 for 239. So that England is still 39 adrift. They're 5 down. Isha Gua, Shane Warne, and Brett Lee are commentating there. 5 for 239. Butler on 5, and Stokes on 5. Green is 1 for 21. 1 for 10. So England, well, they've got to give them some credit. If they do get past the Australian score, people weren't expecting that to happen, so they've come back somewhat, and they probably will. The test will be over today, I would say. So Nathan Lyon's taken 2 wickets. Both Cummins and Stark have taken 1 each. And there's a 5th wicket. I'm not sure who the 5th wicket was. Green has taken the wicket, took a wicket in the first innings. He's taken a wicket in the second innings. It's 2 to Lyon, 1 to Green, 1 to Cummins, and 1 to Stark. Hazelwood hasn't taken a wicket. He hasn't bowled enough to be required. Get any wickets. Cameron Green comes into Butler. Now, you really would hope that England get the ball runs in this. It's a pity that the 2 men from last night are still not there. And Pope didn't last long, which is very unfortunate. We've gone, a good 50 minutes into the play, and they've only scored 19 runs in 50 minutes. 19 runs in 50 minutes. 19 runs have been scored in 15 minutes. 50 minutes, I should say, not 15, but 50. 19 and 50 runs, that's not good. 19 runs in 50 minutes. So 90 runs in almost an hour. It's not great scoring rate, that's for sure. England 5 for minus 39. Make that minus 38. Well, let's just nudge one into the covers for a single. 5 for 240. Well, Australia are in a position now that they should win this match and win it well. They could well win by minutes, but they probably won't. I'm going to plug in the other one there. Another big Australians has died. Lucky battery of this one. So Wokes can bat, he certainly can. So can Stokes and Butler. Ollie Robinson isn't exactly a slouch either. Get ready on it for change. Five for 245 is the score. Five for 245, which is, what's that? 34 runs. 5 for minus 34. Getting closer. Really nice. It was 2 down. They've only got the 5. So 5 for 245. They're 34 behind. Milan, of course, went today for 82. Caught at Labuschagne, still even off for the fly. His 400th test wicket. Then we had the fall of Root, caught behind of Green by the keeper Carey for 89. Then we had Pope, caught at first slip off line. Ball that jagged back, popped up, and he just fended it away to first slip. 83 wickets to fall. So they're 5 down. We've got Ben Stokes in, joined by Josh Butler. Might have considered a stoppage here, guys. We're just about reached 2 hours. F1, what's this F1 actually here? Okay. Any more questions, guys? Otherwise, we'll finish up and we'll join each other later today, probably for the finish of the day's play. As I can't imagine it being any more than the end of the test match today. Let's have a look. Let's see how we go. Any other questions, guys? As we see, we've been on air for almost 2 hours, so not very far away. Quickly get a score update. Still 5 for 245. We have 5 for 245, or 2 for 220. So I've had 25 this morning, but I've lost 3 wickets, which is unfortunate. All right, guys, we might say goodbye at that point. Thanks for being a part of the show. We'll talk to each other later today, and we'll be able to rejoin the score. At this point, it's 5 for 245, not 2 3 4. I'll just update it before I go. Let's have a look here. 5 for 245. For 245 is the score we last saw. All right, guys. Talk later today. Bye.